Okay, guys, right. So I think I can actually get through question 31 to 40. That's my thinking. Let's see. Okay, great. So question 31, as usual, I hope you've read through it. We're using a weighted average system here. I almost think this is slightly easier. Think of sand, where we just add everything together and we just keep mixing things. So let's begin. So it says here that you have 900 at start. So you have 900 at 18,000. Then it says you issue to production. This question is asking about closing inventory this time. So it says you get rid of 300, which is a third of what you have. So that's 6,000 leaving. And then it means that you have 600 items left and 12,000, if you like, pounds worth. Then it says you buy in 500 at £22.40. So at £22.40, that takes you to, you buy in 11,100 worth of stock. And then it says you buy in again a couple of days later, 6 days later, another 300 units at, sorry, this is £22.20. This is at £22.40. And you buy that in, and that comes to 6,720. So suddenly you have 1,400 units worth a total of 29,000. When I add all these three things together, 29,820. Then you issue out 520, which means that you have 880 left. So again, like I say, you can just find 520 items out of this, right? So you could do 520 over 1,400 times 29,820. We just want to know what the 520 is worth. And then we have 11,076. And so we have here 18,744. So we have 880 items at worth 18,744. That's the situation there. Then what we now have is, I'm just going to get rid of this so I have some space. I was going to go to another page, but I think I can do all of this one on this page. So it says you then go and buy in another 480 items. So you have 880 items at 18744. You go and buy in another 480 items, if you like, for 11,040. And so now you have a total of 1,360 items, and the total there comes to 487,29,784. And so the question is asking, well, what's the value of one of these units? And so that's 29,784 divided by 1,360. When you do that, that takes you to a nice 21.9. 21.9. So that's question 31. Yeah, okay. And then we have question 34. So these are kind of labor questions. We see this. We looked at this. So it says here that this person is paid £12 an hour. So it says the standard time to complete each task is calculated and is paid a bonus of 70% on his hourly rate for each hour he saves. Right. So £12 an hour, 70 bonus on 70% of the hourly bonus. So he's worked 32 hours. So we know that he's going to get 32 times 12. I mean, it's just working with the numbers here. And he basically did it in 3 hours less than he should have. So he's definitely going to get 70% of £12 on each of those extra, on that saving, forgive me, if you like, because that's what he saved, 3 hours, right? He's done it 3 hours early, if you like, in terms of efficiency. So what am I doing here? 32 times 12. 32 times 12 gives me 384. 12 times 70% times 3 hours is 25.2. Add the two things together, and we are at 409.2. And that takes us to B. Right? Good. Okay. And let's go on to 36. Here it says that we have a worker who's guaranteed a minimum wage of £80, and that's fine. And pay is £1.50 made in shifts of up to 55 units, and after that £1.55 for every extra unit. So you're just really working with the numbers. So he does 50 units in the first shift. They want to know what's going on with 2 shifts. So first shift, let's look at first shift. First shift, he does 50 units. So that's technically he does 50 times £1.50, and that's £75. But we know that he's guaranteed 80, so we can award him £80 for the first shift. The second shift, what we have is that he does 60 units, so we know that he gets £1.50 for the first 55 units, and then he gets £1.55 for the next 5 units. So I need to work these. Let me add these, do this very quickly. So £1.50 times 55 gives me 82.5 here, 82.5, and then he gets £1.55 times 5, which is £7.75. Add the two things together, 82.5, and here you get 90.25. So that's what he gets for the second shift. Add these two things together, and you can see that takes you to a nice 170.25. Question 37, what we have here is a whiskey distillery uses a batch costing system. Factory cost £12 per direct labor hour. Batch consists of 1,000 liters. So what's the cost per liter? So what are we doing here? We've spent 9,500 of raw materials. So raw materials, we have 9,500. Labor hours, direct labor hours for distillation department, that's 500 hours at £10 each, takes us to 5,000. And the bottling department, you had 250 direct labor hours as well. So the bottling department, you had 250 at £8, which takes us to 2,000. But then we have overheads, and overheads are absorbed based on the direct labor hours. So in terms of direct labor hours, we had 750 direct labor hours in total, if you like, and you're according, or you're issuing, or apportioning, or absorbing £12 to each of those hours. So 750 times 12 takes you to 9,000. So we now have 9,500 plus 5,000 plus 2,000 plus 9,000. And let's add all of this together. Let's see what we get. 9,500, 9,500 plus 5,000 plus 2,000 plus 9,000 gives us 25,000. Gives us 25,500. 25,500, and we made 1,000 liters, if you like. So we made 1,000 liters, and the total cost here is 25,500. That comes to £25.50, taking us nicely into C. Okay, great. So question 38. Again, sort of a similar type of question. And let's see what we have here. So we're told that you manufacture these components, batch costing, cost plus. So don't forget the plus, cost plus 20%. So you find your cost and you need to put in, because the question is asking about the selling price. Remember in class, some of you slightly slipped up on that, but then you found your way as soon as you realized their little trick. So what are we doing? Overheads are done at £15 per direct labor hour, and then £11 per overheads are absorbed at £15 for A, okay, Department A, and £11 for Department B. Okay, great, at least we know. So Department A has 400, in terms of material, direct materials, like starting with that, is 6,200. So you spend £6,200 on making this thing. And then from the Department A, you have 400 hours at £12. So you have 400 at £12, which takes you to 4,800 in terms of direct labor. And Department B, you have 600 hours at £9, which takes you to 5,400. And then we now need to add in this overhead business. So we're told that in department A, we absorb at £15 per labor hour. So that's 15. So for overheads, if you like, for department A, we're talking about 15 times 400, which is 6,000. And then overheads for department B, I'll just do it here, but I won't forget to add it. It's 600. It's 11 in terms of overheads. It's 11 times 600, which is 6,600. I'll just change my pen color so you pick up exactly what we need to add together. This, 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 and this. Add all these things together. This, okay, let's just do that quickly. 6,000 we have there. That just my calculator, and that takes us to 29,000. So that's the total cost, and we made 1,000 components. So the cost per each component is £29. That's the cost. But remember, the question asks us for the selling price. So we found the cost, which is 29. I put a markup of 20%, which is 1.2, and that takes us to 34.8. So the answer is B. Okay, great. And finally, question 39. Oh, well, we might do 40 as well, if there's a 40. Is there a 40? Let's see. There is a 40. So let's quickly get this 39 out of the way. 39 says that a job requires 5 kilograms raw materials, 5 kilograms at £10, which takes us nicely to 50. In terms of labor, it'll require labor at 20 hours at £8, which is 160. Supervisors, we will pay 3 hours at 15, which takes us to 45. And then in terms of the overheads, we will spend £4. Always be careful of this. Even that technically this is per labor hour. So even the supervisor is still labor. So this is 23, which is why sometimes be careful, you might slip up, and this takes us to 92. And you add all this together, and that comes to 347. So in terms of hours, think of the supervisors as well. And then finally, in this video, I've gone quite slightly long. I'm almost over the usual 10 minutes that I usually plan for these things. Question 40, nice little question as well, very similar, and we are pretty much adding all this together. The cost of this job would be 200 at 0.5, 16 at £2.50, 5 at 25, 30 times 10, 50 times 3, and then overheads are absorbed on the basis of £7.50 based on the electricians, and the electricians at £30, 30 hours, so add on 30 times £7.50. So we need to add all this together pretty much, and I don't think you'll struggle with that, and that should take you to 940. Cool, great stuff. So that's question 31 to 40. See you in the next batch of questions.